Hi guys, it's Kelly. I hope you're well. I wanted to come on today and talk about a theme that's really been coming up lately. And it's this theme around twin flames, soulmates, um, karmic relationships, divinely inspired connections with romantic partners, and yeah, this kind of stuff. It's been coming up a lot with the women I've been interacting with lately, and I have a perspective to share um, on it that I don't really hear being shared much. So I'm going to say it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kelly Gray of The Empowered Daughter. I'm a healer and a coach, and I work with women who are healing from difficult relationships with their mothers, known as the mother wound, and also from narcissist empath relationship dynamics. And I've had my own experiences with both of those. And yeah, and so I have some things to share on this twin flame soulmate kind of thing, because when I hear women talking about that, to be honest, the alarm bells for me immediately go off. I'm not so enamored with the language around twin flame and soulmate and karmic relationship, and there's a lot of different language. There's a lot of different ways that people describe these kinds of relationships, and they're women who describe the relationships like this, at least that I've come across. And why I don't really love it is because often these women are talking about a love interest, a partner who is hurtful, who's avoidant, who doesn't show up. They're not emotionally present, maybe even physically present. They might be dating other people. It might go all the way to abuse, where it's like, this is my soulmate and this is my karmic whatever. And women accept the behavior because they have a perception that this is some sort of elevated relationship experience, and they're not taking into account their actual experience of this person as being hurtful and as being this isn't a loving, nurturing, safe, secure partnership where both people are invested in growth, their own personal growth. They're invested in love, and they're invested in showing up, and they're invested kind of in and they've come to an agreement that they're going to like co-create this life together. I find that that's missing from the people who are using this kind of language. And I think a lot of women who have healing work to do are using this language. I think a lot of the women using this language are codependent. What does codependent mean? Codependent means I'm loyal to someone even though they repeatedly hurt me. That's codependent. I was very codependent, so I know how that feels, and it feels really lonely for me, and I was so longing to be loved. And I self-abandoned a lot, and I accepted a lot of behavior that wasn't ultimately good for me, right? At the time, I wouldn't have called it a twin flame or any of these things. I hadn't yet come upon spirituality. But if I had, I probably would have, you know. So I think it's a really dangerous kind of way to define a relationship, that this is so special and divinely orchestrated, and because it's special and divinely orchestrated, I'm just going to be patient and extra loving, and I'm going to educate him on the ways that he needs to show up better. I'm not saying don't invest in our relationships or to go through rough patches. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something different. And if you are a person who knows, you know what I mean. If you're in this kind of dynamic, you know what I mean. This isn't just normally navigating a life with another person. This is chaos and hurt, where you're either numbing out because it hurts your heart too much, or you're kind of like trying to negotiate with this person to show up differently, or you're just going to sit patiently and wait for him to realize that you are his soulmate and he's going to come around. And I think it's so dangerous to have that kind of mentality because we're putting off living our life to the fullest. We're giving our power to somebody else and saying, I'll feel better once they come into my life in a way that I want. It doesn't work that way. Life doesn't work that way. Relationships don't work that way. Why are we like this? Because we had this kind of dynamic with one of our parents or both of our parents. That's kind of where it comes from. So we have some healing work to do with our inner child. So our inner child can feel empowered. And so we're not looking for somebody else to fill some sort of void in our life. And then we call that void divine relationship. No one will ever fill a void. It doesn't work that way. No one will ever fill the void. You fill the void. Once you realize you are in divine relationship with you, and you are the loving sweetie you've always been waiting for, once that clicks for you and you start putting into action, building a beautiful relationship with yourself, all this other, how you approach relationship will change dramatically because you're meeting your own needs. You're meeting your own needs and you're not sitting there waiting, and I'll be patient and loving and kind and wait for him to come around. You will go, oh, you don't have the skills to be in a relationship with me, and you're going to pass on him. You're going to pass on that kind of person if you're in your own power. So that's an indication that you're not. Couple of things. I got a website open. I'm not going to say the source. You can Google twin flame if you so dare to do it. You really won't go very far because there's just so much information on this. There's so many people longing to be loved that I kind of feel like we've projected the fact that that there's some grand love affair, this number one person who's going to come into my life, and finally I'll be loved the way I always wanted to be. Finally I'll be accepted and seen, and I'll feel good about myself. And it never comes from the outside. Do you know what comes from the outside? It reflects back to how you feel about yourself. So while you're sitting there waiting for that guy while he's dating someone else, what you're really getting is the information, that's the feedback that's coming back to you, is that you're not showing up for yourself. So he's not showing up for me. No, you're not showing up for you by engaging in these kinds of dynamics. It's all a mirror. And in that case, in that instance, or taking this approach, everyone's a soulmate. Everyone has a divine connection because they're all here for my evolution. We're here for each other's evolution. We're here to be mirrors for each other so that I can take the data, the feedback that I'm getting, and incorporate it into where do I need to heal. Everyone's showing us all the time. Do you work too much? Are you a workaholic? Do you work hard? Are you exhausted all the time? What is that trying to show you about how you relate to yourself? Do you make your own nurturing and nourishment a priority? Or do you self-abandon? It's all showing us where we have gaps and where we're out of alignment with the essence of who we are. It's all showing us that. So in that case, everyone is a soulmate or a karmic kind of relationship. There are people who we've had past lives with, and we do feel a really instant connection. The person kind of feels very familiar, or they can feel like home. So that's true. That's true. That doesn't mean they're good for me. Objectively, can I look at their behavior and discern, are they actually good for me? They might have had a past life with me, and we might have done this many cycles of where they treat me poorly, and we have an agreement that they keep showing up and cycling through until I get the lesson that I don't need to hurt anymore, and I can choose myself, and I can choose my own empowerment, and I choose to end it and complete the cycle. That's what a lot of soulmate, twin flame kind of connections are. There are people here that I learn from. That's what it is. Okay, so back to the website. Like signs you've met your twin flame. Now, some of these, I'm reading it out of context in all fairness, but some of these things are markers of abuse. Okay, this instant recognition, feel like home, an undeniable intense bond. When you first connect with a narcissist and they love bomb you, so you're swept off your feet and there's grandiose gestures. So there's an intense bond formed at the start. So beware of that. That's also the MO of, and I'm not saying they're doing it consciously. They're not doing it consciously, but that's the way abusers operate. Okay. You are thinking, it's my twin flame. No. You complement each other. Your securities and doubts are amplified. Any relationship will do that. Any partner relationship will do that because they're surrogate to our parents. Okay. And any hurts that we have with our inner child that we haven't resolved will totally come out in our partner relationships. So all of our insecurities and doubts are amplified. That's what a relationship does. It can also amplify love. It can amplify security. It amplifies whatever's alive in me. So if I'm dating somebody and I'm feeling really anxious, it's amplifying my anxiousness. There's something for me to look at there. Now, is that something feedback for me in terms of something I need to work through? Or do I need to look at the anxiety and go, is this person just kind of an unsafe person? Like, are they triggering the alarm bells in me that's creating the anxiety? Or am I anxious because I actually have anxiety and I need to heal that? So this is where discernment, knowing yourself is so important. That's where it comes in. They feel magnetic. Again, narcissists also feel very magnetic. They're very charismatic. The relationship is tumultuous. I am not a fan of that at all. I have been in very tumultuous relationships. They have not been healthy. They've been very unhealthy. The relationship is very intense. There's a definite emotional charge between them. You feel things deeply. You keep coming back together. The chase is most definitely a part of twin flame relationship. At some point, one of you may walk away out of anger or fear, you name it, but you often come back. That's also the hallmark of an abusive relationship. You keep coming back together because we have an unhealthy bond and attachment to the narcissist. We sympathize with them. We feel bad for the way that they are and for the ways, the things that they've been through that have created these tendencies and these behaviors within them. We feel really sorry for them. We sympathize, we empathize, we want to help them. But it's really unhealthy. It's an unhealthy bond. The connection feels divine, and then there's a number of other kinds of things. But anyway, the ones that I talked about, those are markers of abuse. And I see a lot of women who are really setting themselves up to be in abusive relationships or justifying staying in an abusive relationship or an unhealthy or toxic relationship because they think that there's a larger meaning to the whole dynamic. And there is. The larger meaning is, what are they showing you about your own empowerment? What are they showing you about your tendency or, not tendency to self-abandon? What information and feedback are you giving regarding making yourself a priority? What feedback and information are you being given around feeling seen and heard, safe, valued, and loved? Those are the things that you can kind of check in with. We are in an age and a time in our society where we have had all these rom-coms and that show really unhealthy love. We have, the Disney movies where the prince comes and saves the princess. And I realize in the last few years that's changed. But I know from my formative years, that was the storyline. And a lot of us women are looking for a man to rescue us or save us or improve our lives in some way, and I'll feel secure and I'll feel safe when this person enters my life. Or it could be this job, or it could be whatever. Nothing outside of us is going to give that to us. Nothing. 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 It's all here, my friend. It is all here. So take all of that energy, my advice to you, take it or leave it. Take all of that energy that you're pouring into where's my twin flame, who is it, reading about it, looking for signs. Take all of the effort and the energy you're putting into externalizing, finding love, and giving bigger meaning to your life, and give yourself the love. Give yourself the love because it feels amazing. The journey from being disempowered and codependent to becoming a safe, secure, empowered woman is fantastic. It feels amazing. And I would not trade how I feel for 1,000 twin flame men, soulmate men, whatever you call it, divinely curated, whatever. Yeah. Nope. No one can make me feel as amazing as I feel about myself. I know who I am. I love me. If someone's not able to show up for me because they don't have the skills, they've been wounded, they have their own stuff to work through, I understand that. I have empathy for that. But that, sweetheart, is yours to work through. That's not mine to live through and carry you through. And so with that, I release you. That's how I feel about it. So, food for thought, something to think about. I'd love to know what you think. So just reach out if you have any comments. And yeah, have a beautiful day.